I have 30 more seconds, but why not just do it? Right. Hello, Megs. I love your state of disorder and ran. Three of my favorite people. Don't tell the rest that I said it. I have a shirt on. I have a shirt on that I have to unveil. And it's funny as shit to me. But I might have to change it some point during this because it's a bit hot. And I don't know. I might leave it on. We don't know. Am I in? Fuck no. I've been talking away. I've just been talking away. Hello, Mags. State of disorder ran. Smiley Molly fly. Dodie. Hello. I was just talking away. And then because I have this up, I can't see that I'm not there. SDA. So I have a shirt on that I have been waiting to unveil. And Peachy, is Ghost being pampered right now? Is he laying back with hey, Crybaby? Is he laying back with cucumbers on his? Oh shit! I'm all right. It's all gravy. Hold on, and I also took the damn streamer things that we put up for the year that I didn't die, but I didn't do a very good job. I was trying to do it very quickly, and it's just a fucking mess. Oh, hold on. So, hold on. Good Lord, what have I done? Hold on. Son of a bitch. Talk amongst yourselves while I deal with this. We've got a little... Hold on. Now, why are y'all all like... Oh, Lord. Hold on. I've got a bit of streamer and a bit of light. Unwrap. I'm not cutting you. I am not cutting you. You're not getting cut. You might get cut. I refuse to cut glittery strip. Well, I might have to do it. And y'all would not even see this. Y'all would not even notice this right now if I just left it alone, but I'm not going to do that. Hello, everybody. Come in. I'm not back to you right now because I'm trying to fix the lights. It's hung up in a bit of glittery mess. Fuck it, we're cutting it. I said I wasn't, but I'm gonna. If y'all hear, I have been murdered. I have been killed. I have cut the wrong thing. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute. We got progress. We got progress. Hold on. All right, I'm cutting you. Cutting you. And why are you wound up like that? Okay, there we oh, okay. All right. My butterflies are terribly, they look like they're drunk. Okay. Hi, Mama Mountain. And see everything that I missed. Mama T. See everything that I missed the last hour and a half. I was trying to fix that. All right, so hold on. I've got myself up high so you can see this shirt. I'm gonna. Okay, we're 5 minutes in. So, well, I don't even need this because I'm not taking anybody's shit. So, let me just take it down. And y'all ready for the shirt? Hold on. Hold on. Now I have to put it back. What am I doing? Okay, here's the shirt. Hey, Ted Thompson. Hey, you see it says problem solved and it's blood and it's like, I love this shirt. My husband's niece is getting married next Saturday and I'm going to wear it to this wedding because why not? Anyway, but this is problem solved. I've got another one upstairs that says I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm going to order another one that's not like this. It's different. Hey, Peppermint. The other one I'm going to order, lurking, says, it's okay. It's not my blood. It's Halloween, people. I have to do something. I have to do something. I've been waiting I've had this shirt forever. And I showed him to Janie. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I couldn't think of one that like an appropriate, subject. Well, we're doing torsos here. People that had their heads cut off. Hello. You Halloween, baby. So, how's everybody? Oh, God. What we're going to talk about in the next, I don't know if it's going to be that long. Well, it will. I'm trying to, oh, great. There's a hockey game going on. They were doing great. My Leafs were doing great. Scored 2-0. Now it's 2-3. I don't want to talk about it. They're not winning. It's okay. I'm not going to get mad and throw things because I'm a mature woman. Is everybody good? Is everybody great? I hope so. This story is disgusting. It's not disgusting. I did, however, and to Carrie, how did your Viking guy? How are your implants? What is going on with them? Are they good? I hope they ain't panda. It's gonna be a good night if I could just hold y'all's attention till the end of this. Hey, Peggy, I love you, Peggy. Hey, Nancy. Oh, good. You're gonna watch it on TV. Hold on, Nancy. Don't put me on yet. Okay. I've got the Charlie K. Welcome to the screening room. Iowa football 30-0. I'm sure the Buckeyes won today, so I'm not even going to check it. I'm not going to check. Hey, Cassandra. I got a little Farrah Fawcett action going on today. I don't hate it. She's up there yelling. I don't know why. It's probably not good. Did you just yell Domi? She's calling. Hold on. I'm putting you on the speaker. I'm live. Shut up. Wait a minute. It's not loud enough. Hold on. I didn't actually. All right, now go. Go for Shannon. Go for Shannon. What? What is it? Domi. Domi has scored. We're 3-3, guys. 3-3. Keep me.
We have 18 shots. They have 28 shots.
Okay. We'll take it. Hey, PDX. Thank you, love. Keep me informed.
Hi, PDX.
Oh, Catherine said hi, PDX.
You know what, Mom? Drop me the link. Send the link to me.
Drop you the link? Oh, okay.
What? I will tell you updates through StreamYard.
No, you will not, because then you will break into the action here.
You're right.
I know. Do I have my thingies here? Are my thingies loaded up?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Call me later. Bye. I know, Peggy, the thing is with the roots, right? Like, that's a thing. And I get that's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. And it only took, 4 months for me to get it out. Guys, I don't have a lot in life, but I do have air. And I appreciate all of your mom and I know, look, we are 100% going to do a live, a members only live where we talk about people that are not members. Hey, Gotham Knight. So if you don't want to be talked about, you should probably become a member, because if you're not, we're going to talk mad shit about you. It's what we do. So this is getting hot. So I don't know how long this is going to stay on, but I do have another shirt to change it into. So what we are discussing this week, guys, is the Cleveland torso murders. Okay, Halloween baby. And it is exactly, hi Jennifer, it is exactly what I just said. Horse, aw, Mama T, you. Hey Genevieve, how are you? You got the same shirt? I got this one that says, oh, I keep grabbing my boobs. Just price off that. Oh, welcome, Smiley Miley. I've got this one that says problem solved, and then I have another one that says I'm fine. Me and Genevieve got the same sense of humor and sense of style. I love it. Okay. So we're going to talk about these happened in the 1930s. Boys and girls, this I thought, let me tell you just this. I now have a very warped, wait a minute, what did Peggy say? What did you say, Peggy? What did Peggy say? I am the world's worst at computers. I don't know why they even let me have one. Look, I'm not sure I can stop it. No, Peggy, it's good. Now, I've got one photograph that I will give a trigger warning on. I only have one with a trigger warning. I could have had a lot because I am so desensitized to these things now. And so I had to, and the only reason I have one particularly graphic one, but it's not all of it, is when we talk about this case and the way that these bodies were cut up. You're going to, listen, we've talked about it with Jack the Ripper. We've talked about it with another case I shall not name. It is gruesome, very gruesome. Really. And I could have put some of the most disgusting things up, and I didn't do it. And there's one that I do have a photo. And it is of, well, okay, so he did like to cut people's heads off. Who doesn't? And if they found the torso, usually if they searched around, they find the head. It'd be around there somewhere. I shouldn't be laughing at this. Let me try not to laugh. It's like I'm gonna laugh. So there is, they always talk about the vertebrae and which vertebrae, right, it was. And I couldn't, I mean, unless we have somebody who has a degree in anatomy here, ain't it, Mama? I couldn't show it. I mean, I couldn't understand it. So I do have a photograph, but wait, it's not of the whole head. It's just like at this much of it, like this much of it. I will warn you. And the reason that I put it there is a reason. Again, when they go through this corners thing, they would list the where it was cut off. And when I show you the bottom of this particular head, you'll see why it's important. Because like I said, we got a little bit of Jack the Ripper here. We have a little something else that I'm gonna see if y'all pick up on it. And if you don't pick up, I drop my sun, my moon, my stars. I love you. Hello, legends. How are you? I've got some effed up photographs to show, not of this, but listen to this. It's getting near that time. I've got my paranormals in here. They have shown up because they always show up, show out. All right, so I wipe down the bathroom mirror at all times, like probably twice a day. I don't understand this thing of it. So today, and I can't, they're on my phone, so I can't show it, but have you ever covered the case of the man killing the men and putting the bodies in the basement? Is it the I don't know, Ted. I've covered so many people who put bodies in basements. It's not funny. So, all right, you take a shower, right? So, and it's wiped down. My son has not been here since Tuesday. There is a handprint, and it is gigantic. And Catherine's like put hers beside it to gauge. This thing is enormous. And my husband, it's not him. And we took photographs of it in the steam. Well, I mean, I'll have to show you, it freaked me the fuck out. John Wayne Gacy. Oh, we love John Wayne Gacy. Also, if y'all didn't see, what I'm going to start doing is, I know we cover things that are 20 years or older. I get it. And we love it. But what I'm going to start doing is throwing in newer cases because they're newer. And, like I've always, like on my high horse before, I said, well, I'm not going to do that because everybody talks about new cases. I'm going to start talking about new cases. And, and this too. And old ones and the new one. Hey, Fitz Crank. Listen, what I do in my bathroom is my business, but I know I don't get the mirror funky. So, and I don't know, there is a possible serial killer in Texas. In Lady Bird Lake, this is in Austin. They pulled out, was it 53 bodies? 53 bodies. Let me check my own. I have it. Just hold on. I have it right here. Let me pull it up. I forget about bodies. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So we had, and the Texas people are going, no. So, but in Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas, between 2002 and 2023, they pulled out 38 bodies. But they said this is not a serial killer. I mean, what, 38 people just decided to jump in the lake? Okay, whatever. Now, since 2003 to now in Houston, they have pulled out 9 bodies, 24 bodies so far. 2023, they pulled out 9. 2024, they put out 20. And this year alone, they pulled out 24 bodies. But it's not a serial killer. So next week, we're going to talk about that. Janie's going to come up and we're going to talk, because Janie lives in Texas. If you live in Texas, you can come up too. But to say that there's not something going on, something's going on. Don't get mad at me, Texas, but anyway. So let's pull the photographs up. I will warn you before there is, oh, wait a minute. And we have new things. Let me play, and I'm probably going to absolutely get a copyright for this, but I don't monetize. I don't put commercials on. So, hit me with your best shot. And I've added these because they are some of my favorites. So we're going to, here's my shirt. Hold on, here we go.
Sure, Kevin.
I'm sorry.
That's Mr. Austin Matthews, in case you didn't know. Catherine said they were here, and I'm not seeing them. I don't want to have to fire Catherine.
Oh, honey.
But I will. Wait a minute. Oh, fuck. Let me get her down here. Well, that's one. And then I've got more. I just don't know where she put them. I'm not going to take a hit for that one, but I've got other ones here. Oh, I can do this. Hold on. I can do this. Oh, that's the QR code for the Cash App. You damn right. We've got a setup here, honey. You don't think we do? We do. And let me call my secretary. Get down here now. I'm going to fire her in front of every one of y'all. You hear that? She moving because she knows the boss is talking. Some of them, you know what though? I think only a couple of these have been called. Hey, Kimmy, have been called like homicides. I mean, apparently people just fall in lakes in these very specific years, in these very specific places, and they just fall in. You assured me that I had my clips. I only have one.
I'm sure that you had your clip.
I asked you several times today.
Mom.
We're going to have an employees meeting after this, and you need to get out.
I kind of forgot about that.
Hey, Lumpy Space.
That's why you want to be down here?
Yes. I played Sure Kevin. Some
like
other ones.
They like it?
I've got one for when I get a super chat that is not loaded. So whatever. Bye. Spot. Go bye. Go bye. We'll talk later.
It's 3 to 4.
I can see that. All right.
I'm not happy with Domi.
Hold on. I have to do my slides. Here we go. Now, this happens to be, let me just say right now, this is Austin Matthews' ass and thigh. I thought, look, if we're going to talk about disgusting things, we might as well look at his thigh and his ass. Thank you, Austin, for sharing that with us. I'm going to, right, Genevieve, he is a hockey player. When you see him straight on, you can have a picnic on one thigh and a sleepover on the other. Girl, it is a beautiful sight. But that's his ass. Let me see what we got first here. Okay. This is not the head. Love it. Let's get it. So I'm going to give you a little background on Cleveland. Cleveland in the early 1900s was very, very popular. They had a railway. They had a river. So they were very, jobs out the ass. Steel mills, all that great stuff. Men and their families came in the droves, right? Just coming in because there was so many opportunities in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, and then we're going to be talking about a certain part of Cleveland, and it's called Kingsbury Run. Now, that thing started out as a very beautiful park, paths all through it, by the river, shade trees. It was a very beautiful place to go. Much like every other town, when the Depression hit, Cleveland got hit big. All the factories, all the jobs went away. And so what do, right? People were getting evicted. If you rented, you were evicted. If you bought, you were, kicked out. It was bad. It was bad. I think it was like a 41% unemployment rate there. When you don't have a job, you cannot move and go to anywhere else that's got more opportunity. So you're just kind of stuck there. So these shanty towns began to spring up in Kingsbury Run. You've seen them. I guess you've seen them. I didn't take a photo of them because there really wasn't. Where people just use scrap metal and wood, and they build some kind of, shelter, and it's usually all together. And, that's not a great place to be. There were bars that were in this area, streets that you probably shouldn't have gone on at night and whatnot. And that's just, it was what it was. We don't have to go through a lot of that. But around 1929, when the Depression hit, it really hit hard. And so, cops were taking bribes. We were still in Prohibition. The bootleggers were the only people in the whole world making money during the Great Depression. I mean, duh. So, the shanty towns were there. Families were in there. Men were in there. It wasn't good. So we're going to go. Now, I'm going to give you this case. This case is not in the 12 that are absolutely confirmed Cleveland torso murderer or Kingsbury, the Butcher of Kingsbury Runs, two different titles that they like to give him. So on September 5th, 1934, a woman's torso, thighs still attached, but cut off, the knees were amputated, washed up on the shores of Lake Erie. The cops said, basically. And they thought that this could have been a mob hit. I shit you not. A mob hit. Okay, sure. Her head was never recovered. The coroner, okay, so then you're going to find this too. In a couple of these cases, her torso was covered in some kind of preservative, some kind of chemical, which made it red and leathery. And that's going to happen a couple times during this. They didn't really make a lot of it. They couldn't ID her because she didn't have a head. Arms were gone, so we don't have, And they ended up just burying her in a pauper's grave, and on with it we went. We're going to jump right into this. This man you see right here, his name, he was the very first confirmed murderer of this. Edward Andrade. He had some run-ins with the law. He was also maybe homosexual. I'm going to say that because usually they say if you get murdered, it's usually by somebody you know. So on September 23rd, 1935, so a year after the Lady in the Lake, that's what we're going to call the first one, the lady, that's her nickname. A year after this, Mr. Andrade gets, he was discovered at the base of a gully at Jackass Hill. Probably not the greatest name for a hill. He was headless. His head was found buried near the body. Body had nothing on but socks. He was castrated. He had rope burns on his wrists. The cause of death, hold on to your garters, people, was decapitation. He was alive when he was decapitated. This happens a couple of times with this murder. So they were able to identify him because he still had his fingerprints. Now I'm gonna show you that. I'm going to warn you this next photo because it's the way that it was cut off. And you I'm getting ready to show it. If you don't want to look at it, it's not, it's you'll see. But close your eyes if you don't want to look at it, and I'll tell you when it's off. Okay, you ready, everybody? I don't want there to be a lag and somebody throw up. All right, so do you see in this the way his head is decapitated? It is right up just under or around that jawline. And that's a thing. That is what this killer did a lot. He got it right up there and he went right between the vertebrae. He did not care. All right, don't look at. Okay. Now, what is this his? Hold on, let me make this big. And why they made a death mask of his face, I don't know, because they found his head. But this is a death mask. There were only 4 made for these murders. Now, mind you, there were only 2 of these murders, of these victims that were actually identified. He is one of them, okay? On the same day, found near him was another male, decapitated. He was found in weeds, body covered in oil, and he'd been set on fire. But this is Mr. Andrade's death mask. Again, I don't know. So this is all in we're going to 1935. Well, this is Elliot Ness, and I'm sure y'all have heard of Elliot Ness. Elliot Ness was a agent for the Internal Revenue Service. He worked with extensively prohibition. He is the one you've all heard who got Al Capone. He didn't get Al Capone on murder. He didn't get Al Capone on racketeering. He got Al Capone on tax evasion. Oh, well, that's the only thing they could get him on. So some people have him, like he is just the best cop ever. Wasn't really a cop so much. Hold on, I'm bringing y'all up over here. I can't see chat. When I blowed it up, I can't see chat. So the mayor of Cleveland called and said, you know what? Ness, get over here. And Elliot Ness said, okay. He went to Cleveland to become the safety. I can't even with him. The safety director of Cleveland. The safety director. And I'm giving you this look because I had a very definite preconception of Mr. Ness from watching The Untouchables. And though, oh, honey, go back. What are you trying to do? Yeah, I had a very, I thought I knew. So in the movie, if you watch The Untouchables, it's Kevin Costner and he's married and he's got 2 little children and, they're running. Elliot Ness didn't have any children. Not then anyway. So again, we know him from Al Capone. We know that he was a agent for the Internal Revenue Service. He got him put away. Elliot Ness comes to Cincinnati, Cleveland, and starts as safety director. And I guess with the shanty towns and all that, I mean, I'm sure it was needed. I'm not really sure why the mayor called Elliot Ness, but he did, and Elliot Ness showed up. So we're going to go now. We're going to go to June 26, 1936. These murders, it's over 4 years, but they have spurts of he goes, boom, 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 with, 3 in a row. And then he'll stop. So the next victim that we have is, there she is. This is Miss Florence Polello. She was a housewife. She was a sex worker. So there were 2 baskets, 2 bushel baskets, and well, there they are right there. And they were covered with, I think it was burlap. And a woman looked into the baskets and said, oh my goodness, someone has stolen 2 hams. I know, 2 hams from the butcher. Let me go tell the butcher. He goes and says, you know what? Somebody has just stolen 2 hams from you. And so they left them in baskets out here. He goes outside and he realizes very quickly these are not hams. So with the 2 baskets, she was, again, hey, stay with me. It was her torso and there was her thighs, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So the head was never found. She never found her head. So there's her torso and her legs were there. Her reproductive organs were gone. Arms and legs were wrapped in newspaper in another. So we have the torso in one bushel. We've got the arms and legs in another one. I know this is really cool. This is bad, but it is what it is. So, and get this is what I love. The coroner said without a head, he couldn't rule if the death was a homicide. I'll say it again. The coroner said, hey, I don't have a head. I don't know if it was homicide or not. Okay. That she had disappeared from a bar. And the road, the area that the bar was in, it was called the Roaring Third. Roaring, like the Roaring 20s. Roaring Third. She disappeared from a bar in the Roaring Third. Now, mind you, the police at this point, we've already had two men in one day found. Okay. And then a while later, we have her found. There's a pattern here. Somebody is cutting the heads off of people, cutting their legs off. We have a murderer. we might have a murderer. But the city still was like, you know what? We don't know. We don't think this might not be a thing. All right, so at this point, we've got 3 murders. We're not even counting Lady in the Lake is a long gone. Nobody's even worried about her. So the press was so relentless with these cops, and people were scared, even though that the people were well, I guess we don't know, do we? That's another thing. They all started going missing from Kingsbury Run, that area. But we only have 2, her and Edward from the first one, that were identified. We have a tentative ID on a woman that we'll meet later on, but I don't even know how that happened. So the press, the public, they're starting to go, hey, something's up. So the police decide they will have a big meeting. They're going to pull in Cleveland's going to pull in all of their detectives. We're going to get the coroners, the medical in there, and they're going to pretty much try to profile back, even back then, they were going to try to form a profile of who could be doing this, because the cuts were surgical. 100%. That's why I showed y'all that head. It's surgical. This thing, it was done on purpose. And purposefully where it was done. All of the amputations were done with precision. So they knew that this was either a doctor, a butcher, or a hunter. Those were the 3 things. Now, the police invited the press. So y'all come and watch us brainstorm all this, right? And at this point, the mayor said, Elliot Ness, you're heading this. This is your baby now. And they picked a well, there was actually 2 detectives, but this Peter Morello, he was a detective. He worked with them for like 17 years. He'd been a detective for 17 years. And they made him the lead detective, but he worked under Elliot Ness. So enter Elliot Ness into this. And I'm going to tell you this now. This case ruined both of them, both of those men. And because we don't have a conviction. There was no one arrested. I'm going to tell you about the most likely suspect. But, okay, so next on June 4th, then we've got John Doe 1 that was found the same day as Mr. Ed, and we're getting ready to meet John Doe 2. John Doe 2, January 5th, 1936, victim number 4, John Doe number 2. Now, he had tattoos, and they did find his head. I'm going to show you a picture of his head, but stop, don't worry. It looks like he's asleep, and this is, it's all pulled up here. It's not gross, I promise. I promise. So let's look at him. Well, that's a little bit of a shanty town, but not really. That's kind of right. There's the little Cahoya River, Cahoyta, whatever. I don't know. Okay, so this is, and for some reason, I do not know why Miss Flo had a death mask, but there she is. We had her head. I do not know why they made a death mask of her head. They had her, but they ID'd her through fingerprints because she would have been a sex worker. So I don't know why they made a plaster death mask of Edward or her, because they had their head and they knew who they were. But I didn't work, and I didn't work in crime then. So let's go on. This is Detective. There he is. This is Detective Morello. This is him undercover. I don't mean to laugh, but that is every single stereotypical hobo-looking thing you can do. That he has gone undercover to get into the shanty towns, Queensbury Run. Who would know? I would never suspect. No, not him. Undercover. Thank you, Detective. Okay, so this would be the tattooed man. This is his face, okay? And we're going to look at his death mask, which looks nothing like his own face. But anyway, I will tell you a little story about these. Here's his death mask. Look, and I've got him side by side in a minute. But I'm going to show you his tattoos. Back then, if you had tattoos, you were either in the military in some way, or you were a criminal. Go figure. So let me talk about this one for a minute. Let's get to his body. All right, see, that doesn't even look the same to me. Here's his real face, and that's his death mask. And I understand the paint's come off, but that's not at all. I don't even see where that's even anywhere resembling. So we're going to look at his tattoos. This is I'm sorry, but this is the only thing they had to show me. So for two of these people, you can look up, and this is what I had to do. We have 12 victims, and they are only identified as, we got our guy here. Victim, I'm sorry. He's John Doe number 2, victim number 4. This gets a lot of math, okay? So, oh fuck, it's 3 to 5 now. I would put in, because I use Wikipedia as a lot of this stuff. It's where you're going to find the most information, you think. So I put in Cleveland torso murder, John Doe 2, right? And it brought me to a website. This website is a military website. And so we have these tattoos, and on this website it showed his tattoos. Most likely it showed his initials, which are on his body here, but we had the little the butterfly on the right shoulder, and this over here on the right is just his basic weight and whatnot. All right, so, and I know these aren't very clear, but I had the best I could do. Upper right arm, the heart with a piercing arrow. And then if you look on his forearm in here, WCG. Inner right forearm, cross flags with initials. This website said that this was Navy. They know that this guy was from the Navy. Because of that, they knew. I didn't argue. Then we have this little birdie over here on that one. And it had Helen under it. This is unidentified still to this day. And then we'll go down a little bit more. This is the only way I could do it where y'all could see. There's the anchor, and there's a jigs, which is some kind of thing. So we know now that I looked at that site that WCG was most likely his initials. But Wikipedia's got something else. They have that there was a laundry mark in his underwear with the initials JD. And so that they thought that was his initials. Now, mind you, the military website that had this on there was obviously not around when he was dead. So this has come to light afterwards. But we'll do a little thing about his body. And I've got more details, but y'all don't need all the gory ones. So we had a decapitated torso, had found their body. He was nude, drained of blood. A lot of them were drained of blood. In fact, a whole lot of them. He was unmutilated, which means he wasn't castrated. He didn't have any marks on him to show that he was restrained in any way or tortured. And here's my thing. And this was the thing that went along too. How did this killer? We know that Mr. Ed, the first one, did have rope marks on his wrists, How did this killer, one, meet these people, right? Two, get them to come back wherever the hell, because he needed a spot. You can't, you need a spot to kill and dismember someone, drain them of blood, and then carry them back out and put them by a river, in a river, on, whatever. This man, all right, and let me tell you another thing. 11 of these victims had no drugs or alcohol in their system, meaning they weren't in any way inebriated at all. So this killer got them, met them, got them to go one place, got them in somewhere, cut them to hell. Bodies are drained up. Yeah. And then he would take their bodies back out. So they knew this guy had to be strong, right? He at least had to be strong. The odds that there were two of them that were doing this, with one guy helping him, very low. That probably not even considered. He had a preservative on his skin as well that turned it red and leathery. Now, these people would be dead anywhere from a couple of days, before they were found, to a month. We have a couple that were skeletal. It's varying, but why don't I just make some more real noises? I'm looking at, hold on, let me get y'all big. Okay. I'm trying, if I have it blown up like this, I can't see chat. So I'm moving. It's probably a safe house, but I think when we get a little further and we're going to, some of these things are going to make sense. I promise you this. But they definitely did need a safe house. They needed a way to, now, and again, this is another one of my points that I pondered. Kingsbury Run and those shanty towns and those Roaring Third and all that, they now knew people were being taken out of there. I can't even say that. I can't even say that they were Kingsbury Run residents. We know that two were. But now Kingsbury Run knows that there's, we're on victim 4 right here, okay? So we know something's going on. And if your friend Ed does not show up, why do you not then go, right, and say, my friend Ed is missing. I don't know where he could be. But that never happened. Nobody ever reported anybody missing, which is weird to me. So let's go. So that's him, unidentified, still to this day. And this is them just fine. I mean, there are a lot of these. They're blooded. If you look in that hole, it is a head. I didn't show it. I didn't show it, but it is a head. And you see all these press, look at this kid right here. There's a kid. Somebody said, Nancy, Graham Jr., we're going over. They found a head in a hole. Let's go. Pack a lunch. I don't even know what that's about. Here's another one. So a lot of, because they were found in usually waterways, rivers, little creeks, cesspools. It was always water. And if you see the little arrow there, I didn't show it. Every time I don't show it, I want credit. They were. The one guy, the Ed Adrassi, he did. He lived in Cleveland. He worked in actually an asylum. He was like a janitor at an asylum. He got into fights. When they went around and talked to people that knew him, that is when they said he could have been, maybe a little bisexual, maybe homosexual. That's going to come into play in a little while, possibly. I don't know. None of this really makes any sense. Flo was a sex worker and a housewife. They both were ID'd with fingerprints. So she was from Kingsbury Row, as was Mr. Ed there. And as far as the guy that was found with Ed, nobody knows. We couldn't identify him. The tattooed man, nobody knows. They couldn't find him. So we could assume because they were drained of blood. A lot of them, more like at least 11 of them. Usually the men were usually castrated, honestly. This is going to be very Jack the Ripper-ish because some of these victims had organs removed, odd organs removed. Things were never found, heads were never found, legs were never found. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine either. I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to figure that one out. So, September 10th. That's a damn lie. It's September 10th. July 22nd. I am so sorry. It's two of them. So on July 22nd, 1936, victim number 5 and John Doe number 3. I know these are very hard to do. Severely decomposed, decapitated white male found on the west side of Cleveland. This was the only victim that was found west of Kingsbury Run on the other side of town. The only one. So his head was found, which was a skull. Right, it wasn't a head by them. There were very cheap clothes found nearby. A pathologist found a large quantity of blood found under him, seeped into the ground. So this is what we know. This man was not taken somewhere else, murdered and drained of blood. He was killed right there, right where they found him on the west side of Cleveland. The only one that was ever found that far that way, and the only one that had been killed in that spot. So that makes me think, was it him? Was it the torso murderer? Probably. I mean, who else is going to run in? Number 5 there. And there were fingerprints. They couldn't get the fingerprints. There was nothing. I mean, obviously decomposition. They also said that he had like longer hair. So he might have been riding the rails. There's 15,000 ways. Yeah, it could be a copycat too. Exactly. This could be a guy that just didn't like. I mean, So we're going to go to September 10th in 1936. We get John Doe number 4, victim 6. He was found floating in the cesspool. His torso had been cut this way, bisected, I guess. There was a shirt wrapped around newspaper, and it was laying on the shore. Guess what that was? You're not going to guess. Yeah, his head. No, his head was never found. All right, so he was found in the cesspool. They drained the cesspool looking for body parts, right? And they couldn't find them, so they didn't find any. Now, in his torso, the kidneys and the stomach were removed along with his genitals. We are forming, we got something forming here. Okay, I'm trying to get through these. I know that they're horrible and gross, but hey, I'm not the killer. I didn't do it. So we're gonna move on. Now, like I said, there's a couple of these that went in succession pretty quickly. All right. So I don't have photographs of those victims. Well, I do, but I couldn't show them. So I just threw up these, these right here. So wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Victim 5. I better not have missed any. Victim 5 and victim 6. Yeah, I'm good. I'm golden. right now or not. And I'll try to make these sure these are all. All right, so now we have victim 8. Jane Doe number 2. Does that sound right? This was the work shirt. This was the work shirt that they found victim number 6 in. And they tried to get, they didn't have forensics back then. They could only tell basically that it was, what type blood, and, that it was male and female, I guess. So we're going to hit victim number 8. Now, this is the one that drives me insane. I told you about the military website that discussed victim number 3, or John Doe number 3. There is a website called Our Black Girls. And when I punched in Cleveland torso murderer, victim 8, it popped that website up. Now, I also have Wikipedia where I'm looking at victim number 8, right? So there is some weirdness going on here because we have a death mask. We have a death mask that was tentatively identified as Rose Wallace, a prostitute, but we never found a head. So I don't understand why we have a fucking death mask, because find our that website does, her head wasn't found. Her head wasn't found. So on June 6th, we have this, and we have victim number 8, Jane Doe number 2, Rose Wallace. Beheaded. Beheaded. All right. Only a skeleton. She was only, when they found her torso, it was only a skeleton. In the wrapped up with her body was a newspaper from the previous June. Okay. The previous June. So this woman had been dead for a year. A year. Skeletal. I'm telling you everything I know. I don't understand it. No skull was found, but we have a death mask. And I'm going to read you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go up a little bit. I think I had missed some. Did I miss some? This is a drawing that was done from a newspaper photograph back in the day. That it was done recently, but I'm going to read you what it says under, okay? And this is on display. This is right under the actual death mask. And so it says Rose Wallace, 1939. Rose Wallace was tentatively identified as victim number 8 of the Cleveland torso murder. This sketch of Miss Wallace, drawn by Michael Nevin, is based on a newspaper photograph. Although Coroner Gerber never agreed with the identification on Miss Wallace's gold dental work was identified by a young African-American man in April of 1938 who claimed to be her son. No positive identification was ever made. So I don't understand where we've seen the dental work because we never found the head. I don't understand why we have a death mask, because if we had found a head, it would have been a skull. There would not. She was dead a year. Okay. I feel like I have missed something. Let me make sure I haven't. We went through number 5. We found, yep, a drain right there. We went through victim 5 and victim 6. If I'm missing one, I'm missing one. So anyway, again, I don't understand how we have a death mask. I don't know how we have fillings, dental work. I don't understand it. Her head was never found. And if it had been, and on the Our Black Girls, no head. Wikipedia, no head. So I don't know if the artist, this was, maybe they tentatively ID'd her in the paper back in the 30s and he drew this. I don't fucking know. But Rose, we don't think it's you. I'm sorry. Again, and let me tell you, Rose went missing from the exact same bar that Miss Flo did in the Roaring Third. So she was known. Went missing from the same bar. I throw my hands up. I could have showed you a good photograph on these. All right, let's go. Let's go through. I don't think I have. Okay. Let's go back. We're getting ready to get a suspect. Oh, yeah. So July 6th, 1937. John Doe number 5, victim number 9. This is where I'm getting confused. This is where I'm messing up. So we have John Doe number 5, victim number 9. And on July 6th, upper portion of man's torso wrapped in chicken burlap feed sack, plus 2 thighs discovered floating in the Cahuenga, I might say that right, river. Head, internal organs within the abdominal cavity, and heart were missing. So they never found the head. They didn't find the organs. They didn't find the heart. Things went quiet for 8 months after this. All right, after the rapid succession of victims. Even you have to count Rose, because even though she'd been dead for years, she was found, within this rapid succession of. So in March of 1938, this is not an official victim. In March of 1938, a man was walking his dog near Kingsbury Run. These were all in the same, and I'm going to show you a map in a little while. He was walking his dog. His dog ran into the woods and came back with a human leg. I'm sorry. I think they were just going off eyewitnesses. I guess, but usually, a death mask is like made, from the face. These were the worst death masks I've ever seen. I mean, people in the Middle Ages did death masks, and they were wonderful. What are these morons doing? I don't know. So the man's dog came running back with a human leg. That is not counted as a victim because we only had a leg. And but this is all right. We're starting to get this picture of Kingsbury Run right now. It's bad. And again, these people are disappearing, and they're not going to the police and saying, "My friend, Joe is missing. I haven't seen him," because these was transient people. So you might meet a guy named Joe 2 weeks ago, but then Joe has jumped on the rails and he's gone. So you really didn't know if your friends were gone or not. That's what made these people so hard to identify. One, because you didn't have a head, but the transient nature of this time in Cleveland was impossible. You could not, you couldn't, I guess it would be near impossible unless it was like a family member. So again, we're not talking about the leg is not part of a victim, but a guy from the medical examiner's office did go to the area, and he went and he visited a informant that he had, and that informant was in the Osborne State Prison, and he went to talk to him. And let me just say this, that the amputation on that leg, they said, was precise. It was, again, a professional. We've got a doctor, a butcher, or a hunter. 100%. This informant mentions a Dr. X. The guy mentions Dr. X. The Dr. X sometimes goes to bars, and he'll ask people, sit down with people, and he'll have a talk with them, find out what they're all about. And they didn't know his name. All they knew was Dr. X. Enter Dr. Frank Sweeney. Dun dun! Sorry. If I have to be dramatic. If I can't be dramatic, then I'm not going to. I need to make sure I got all these. I've made these little notes. And okay, let's do this. I'm going to show you. So here we have Dr. Sweeney. Not a very good picture of him, but it's him. And we have Mr. Ness. And these two would become very acquainted with each other. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dr. Sweeney. He was a Cleveland doctor. He was born in Kingsbury Run. He was raised in Kingsbury Run. He knew every inch of Kingsbury Run. He came from an Irish family. His mother died at 9. His father was in a horrible accident. And at that point, Mr. Sweeney was just 9 years old when his mother died. He had brothers and sisters, and they just kind of had to go out there and figure it the fuck out. You know, how are you going to live? We don't know. He was a World War I veteran. He was injured. The injury is kind of ambiguous. Some say it was a head injury. Some say it was something else. But he was ruled partially disabled. Now, this man was a genius. So he was in the World War II when he was in his 20s. Okay, he was in his 20s. He got back from the war. He put himself through undergraduate school. He graduated from a pharmacy school, which, can I tell you, if you have ever talked to your pharmacist, ask them about their college. It is one of the hardest degrees that you can get, because you have to know every drug by name. You have to know the dosage. You have to know what that drug might interact with. You have, it's a lot. So he graduated from, and he did all these like medical school, pharmacy school, undergraduate, while he worked for a full-time job. So this guy was off the chart smart and driven like nothing. But he was a little crazy. Now, what ended up happening to him is his dad was an alcoholic. And some people think it was because of the pressures of being a doctor, or the pressures. He got married. They had 2 sons. And he started to drink. And it got worse. And it got worse. He worked at a hospital. Now, by the time he graduated, I had this mapped out somewhere. He was around 38 years old when he got his degree. And then he quickly lost privileges at a hospital because he was drunk. His wife left him with their children. She went to court to get a restraining order against him because he was abusive to her and the children. She would go to probate court and try to have him put into psychiatric hospitals. He would not go. Or he would go. And it never worked. Now, an interesting thing about Mr. Dr. Sweeney and his wife is that they separated. And, they separated in, you're not going to believe this, September or August of 1934. Do you remember the lady in the lake? The lady in the lake was found September 5th, 1934. That was absolutely the first victim. And she shows up a couple weeks after he and his wife separate. What are the odds? What are the odds? So we go through the medical practice. He got rejected. He just turned into a complete and utter alcoholic, completely worthless. I'm sorry. So Elliot Ness got him and said, you know what? I'm going to put this guy under surveillance because something ain't right with this guy. This is the guy, you know. And for a while, they kept him under surveillance. Now, he was, by this time, a drunk on the streets. Did he have a home? I do not know. Where was he when every one of these murders were committed? Yeah, there was that 8-month period where nothing happened. Can we trace back to where Sweeney was? Not that I could find. You know, was he in a psychiatric hospital for 8 months? I don't know. Nobody can really figure that out. But this guy was on the radar, okay? And he and Ness had oh my God. That is the scariest photograph of all. Oh my God, I'd rather see the goddamn head. Just kidding. This is a younger Dr. Sweeney. Very much younger. He was a big guy. Dr. Sweeney was a big guy. He was a strong, I know, Mags, I had to do it. Right, holy shit, jump scare. He was a pretty big guy. And this was him when he was younger. Again, a very accomplished man. What could he have done had he not been an alcoholic? But he's also had psychiatric problems. I mean, this guy was never gonna, you know, I'm sorry, Dr. Sweeney, but you were probably never going to become, you know. So I've just gone through his bio with you, but I'll make sure that I got everything. This is where I actually wrote it down. This is where I actually wrote it down. His expertise was surgical resident. So he was a surgeon. He was a surgeon. That was his specialty. Then I am so smart. I put under here, let's stop and discuss the 1934 separation. He was in a steady and constant decline. For the two, I mean, I think the first 2 years of their marriage were happy. The rest of them, not so much. I think they got married in 1927. Yeah. The deterioration climaxed just about the time the lady in the lake was found. So that was weird. And I think, do I have the breakdown? Okay, I do. So he was born in 1984. He died in 1964. I'm sorry. He was born in 1894. So the World War II was between 1914 and 1918. So he would have been in his early 20s. So he graduated medical school at 28, in 1928 at 34. And the first probable murder in 1934, he would have been 40. So I broke that down. I thought that was pretty. Graduated medical school at 38. And then the first probable murder, he would have been 40. So, I mean, you know, he was also supposedly a bisexual. That might explain why some of these men were castrated. And that would explain why, because usually with a serial killer, they stick to one sex or the next. They will either kill all women, they will kill all men. He mixed it up. So that could be a clue that it was him, because he was bisexual, and they were actually, you know, different sexes. Well, he was under surveillance, but that didn't stop the killer. Surely didn't. So on April 8th, 1938, and we're getting the last, this is the last, you know, little bit here. We're in the home stretch. We've got our last 3 victims. So on April 8th, 1938, victim number 10, Jane Doe number 3. I know these are hard, and I'm sorry. Let me see what I have next here. No, it's just them looking. All right, so let me put this right here. So, okay. We have the victim as John Doe 5. No, something ain't right. Something's right. So we have a torso. Shocker, drained of blood, Shocker. You know, in burlap sacks. I know I'm like repeating myself, but this was it. That was his thing. No preservatives on this. The preservatives was only about 4 of them, maybe 4 of them. Found on a riverbank. You know what our boy does. Same day, we have Jane Doe number 2. These were found on the same day. Now, what's particularly shitty about this one is that they have Dr. Sweeney on, they have him, sorry, they have him on surveillance. And these people were killed like he did not give a fuck. Now, so we have the woman. She's found on the Cahoga banks of the river. We're going to go to our victim 11. This is Jane Doe number 4 again. No, that's wrong. Hold on. Our last victim, John Doe number, 6? John Doe was found on the same, they both found on the same day. He was found on the Cleveland shoreline in full view of Elliot Ness's office. Is that not a big from Sweeney to Ness, to Mr. Ness? Elliot Ness could look out of his fucking window, and there is a torso right there because the killer said, really? And so this, and let me tell you this too. I've neglected to, these are obvious. Oh yeah, taunting from hell. These were obviously murders, okay? We get that. I understand. A lot of these, the victims were alive when they were decapitated. There's a way. We've discussed this before in so many different murders. I don't want to go into it again, but, you can tell by the, only one body was ever found with hesitation marks. Only one body was ever found with hesitation marks. Only one body was ever found with drugs in it, and it was that same body, which was number 10. I probably forgot to say that. It had hesitation marks, and the body had morphine in it. That's the first body. So we have to think, is that, because these, the press was still relentless, and that's the only word that I can use. On Ness, on all the police, they were like, what are you doing? Why can't you stop this? Why can't you figure it out? This has been 4 years of these murders, right? So, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it before. Victim 10 had morphine, and they gave a ratio, but I don't know what that means. And it had hesitation marks on it, on the skin. That was the first. So were they struggling? And that's why we have hesitation marks. And then he gives them some morphine and that calms them down. I don't know if calming them down is what he wants. I think he wants them alive for a lot of this, but I don't know. So after the body was found outside of Elliot Ness's office, Elliot Ness took that pretty personal. So that was August 16th, 1938, that the man was found back there. How does Mr. Ness answer to this? Well, he's got a plan. Here's the bodies where they were found. I know it doesn't give you a lot, but it gives you what it is. There was like a hate-free side baby. It was there were hand-done ones from back in the day. It really is, Ted. So you saw the cluster, and it's all around. This is Kingsbury Run. There it is. Dr. Sweeney's stomping grounds. He knew every inch of it. So now we are wondering, okay, he got him out of the area. He killed them, drained them, dismembered them, eviscerated them, and then took them back undetected, which in itself is also amazing. How are you carrying a torso and a couple of legs and nobody is going, the hell he got? It is amazing to me that you can have, but then if you think we have 12 victims over 4 years, that would average, X amount of victims. It's a lot of victims. We're not done. There is 12 confirmed. We're not even talking about the lady in the lake that happened weeks after his wife left him, also coated with that red stuff. We're not talking about stuff after him. We're talking about these 12 confirmed. You remember the guy with the dog, the leg. That's not a confirmed victim, but somebody belonged to that goddamn leg. It could be up to 20 plus victims. We're going to go through possible victims when we get through this. So what Mr. Ness decided to do, and this came, had a very bad time for him. Once the body was found outside of his window on the 16th of August, on the 18th of August, he decided at 12:40 a.m. that he was going to take a group of about 35 officers. He was going to take some detectives. He was going to raid the home. Oh, that's the sack that number 10 was found. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. He decided to raid the homeless encampments. Now, let me tell you something. He damn well knew that the murderer was not, hey, Vicky, was not living in that encampment. He knew that he knew, okay, that he was not there. He knew he was the Dr. Sweeney. I'll tell you how he knew it in a minute. Well, we'll just talk about it right now. We'll do it right now. So, Mr. Ness had Dr. Sweeney yoked up from a street, okay, in August of 1938. And he kept him in a hotel room for a week. They went through interrogation, and we've got a severe alcoholic. And you just can't, hold on, let me get a beverage now that I've said alcoholic. What was the coroner was a moron. So he had Mr. Dr. Sweeney yoked up from a street corner, put him in a hotel, obviously round the clock. He kept him, they had to give him alcohol so he didn't die. And they interrogated him relentless. I know that's a word that I use a lot, but it's true. And at the time, he won't budging. He won't talking about nothing. All right. They tried everything. Well, there was a new technology just budding, and it was called the polygraph. So the man who was developing the polygraph brought the machine to the hotel room, hooked him up, asked him questions, and the guy told Elliot Ness, this is your man. This is your guy, 100%. Now, this was the very early polygraph, okay? Let me make myself big. Well, we'll just leave it like that. Now, mind you, this was an alcoholic who was given alcohol. And this was the very, very, very first one. Now, it's not hard. I don't think it would have been hard for anyone to have said, didn't even have to know. This the little bit that we knew. to say this is your guy. Again, they started to again and again interrogate him. He won't giving them shit. He won't saying nothing. Again, they brought this guy back. He did another one, and he said, if this guy isn't the one, I will take this machine and throw it out of the window. Now, I don't know if that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That machine couldn't have been that honed in. It was just brand new. The guy was drinking alcohol. So, yeah, they let him out. They had to let him go. They had to let him go. They had to let him go. So, that is when Elliot Ness, knowing that this guy is the murderer, I think we can all guess that this guy's a murderer. He takes the people, he takes the detectives, he rounds people up. He's got the fire trucks, and he starts raiding these homeless people in these encampments. 11 squad cars, 2 police vans, 3 fire trucks descend on the largest cluster of man-made shacks by the Cahoga River. And right where it twists behind Public Square, his raiders worked their way through the run, eventually gathering up 63 men. At dawn, police and firemen searched the deserted shanties and lit them ablaze. He burnt them to the ground. This was a mistake on Elliot Ness's part. Big time. Because the public, the press were like, what are you doing? You know, even the city had a soft spot for these people. These people did not want to live there, okay? Think about Cleveland, Ohio in general in the winter. If you have never been to Ohio in the river, I've only been to Cincinnati in the winter. No damn way. I've done it twice. F that shit. No, I will never do it again. It is a cold that I can, and I am from Virginia, okay? Mid-Atlantic, but whatever. A Ohio winter, and if y'all are in Ohio, please vouch. It is a cold that goes directly through you. I don't know. I mean, I can't. Do you think people wanted to live? And this was August, all right? So, I mean, he burned it down in August. It wasn't winter, but these people didn't want to live like this. But he burned them down, and the police were like, you're an idiot, Ness. We're going to find out about Elliot Ness. We're going to find out about Elliot Ness in a minute. Because he got his untouchables again here in Cleveland. Because, that's what he did. I don't know. He didn't find the killer. I mean, he found him, but he didn't arrest him. And instead, he threw a hissy fit and blew down and burned down the shanty towns. And we're done. We're done. This is it. This is the end of this. Okay? This is the end of this. It is over. He didn't get his man. He burned this down. We'll go through him in a minute. His life won't do great after this. So it remains one of the most perplexing cases in our nation's history. Absolutely. Dr. X or Dr. Sweeney never brought in. Ever. He obviously, Dr. Sweeney taunted the shit out of him. We're going to go through a couple of possible more victims. I'll do this. I always do that. So we have the lady in the lake. That's number one. She's obviously a victim. And hold on. I have a couple more photos, but we're just going to. We're going to knock that down. We're going to knock that down, and we're just going to remove it real quick, and I'm going to get it like this. So we have the lady, like, obviously, that is victim number 1. So now we have 13 victims because we know she's one now. So September, so between 1921 and 1942, okay, 9 people, 8 of them unidentified, were found dead and dismembered in the swamps around train yards in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Cleveland are not very far apart. They're on the same rail line. So we have other victims between 1921 and 1942. 8 of them unidentified in train yards. They were called the murder swamp killings. Bodies found in water, dismembered. Where was Dr. Sweeney? I do not know. Nobody knows. Well, they probably somebody. But it's a lot like him, and he was on the same rail line. So, hello. It's got to be one. July 1st, 1936, the headless body of an unidentified man was found in a boxcar in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, also very near Ohio, on the same rail line. And then there were, I think, 3, yes, in May 3rd, 1940, 3 headless victims were found in a boxcar in McGee's Rocks, Allegheny, in western Pennsylvania, along the bank of the Ohio River. Okay, so, and then we have others. Dismembered bodies were also found in swamps near Newcastle. So Sweeney, we get you. We got you. Okay. You did it. We know. There was only one other person that was actually arrested for these, and it was for the arrest. It was a man that lived with Florence Polello, the first identified woman. He lived with her, and they arrested him in 1939 for her murder and tried to pin these rest of them on him. Why would you try to pin the murders on a guy when you effing know exactly who did it, Mr. Ness? It didn't stick. He's fine. His name was Frank Dozell. Didn't work out real well. Now, Mr. Dr. Sweeney checked himself into a psychiatric hospital on two days after Ness burned down Kingsbury Run. He checks himself into a psychiatric hospital for veterans. And from there, he begins to send Elliot Ness postcards. And they are odd, and they are just drilling it in how smart he is and how dumb Ness was and how Ness didn't get him. And, it's ridiculous. They were ridiculous. And Elliot Ness just kept getting madder and madder. So, now let's talk about Ness. What happened to him? He left Chicago. Oh, shit, sorry. He left Cleveland. After this ruined him. Okay? I did not know this, and this is going to be a big shock, but just because when you think of Elliot Ness, you think of Kevin Costner, right? You don't think of that, Elliot Ness moved on, and he took a job in Washington, and he was pretty much the VD. He would around military bases, they had obviously prostitutes, and all the soldiers were getting VD, and so he was hired to clean them up. I mean, good Lord, Elliot Ness had to you know, basically just go through tax returns or the lack thereof in Chicago with Capone. And then he got moved here for these swamp birds, which he did not solve. Now he's Captain Venereal Disease, and he's, doing that. And then he left that job. Now, him and his wife divorced. Him and his first wife divorced. He married another wife. Well, Elliot Ness started to drink very heavily. Very heavily. And he would take odd jobs. Let me try to find some. It's really sad to me. Let me see. I've got all these. I've tried to do better with my notes. And I think I did better this time of having it just basically boom, 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 boom. So I can't really F it up that much. So he got married again after. In fact, he didn't let that wiener get dry before he married somebody else. You go, boy. He went to Washington and became Captain BD. He divorced again, and he married another woman. And he would work in corporate America, where he wasn't getting any more law enforcement jobs. And then he went back for whatever reason, and let me bring that back up. For whatever effing reason, he went back to Cleveland and tried to run for, that's Mr. Dozel right there, who was arrested and then probably released. Okay, let me explain this one. The Cleveland State Great Lakes Exposition. That is where they took these 4 death masks, right? And they tried to see if people could identify them at this big expo. It was a shot in the dark. Guess what? Nobody did. So this is his thing from, he tried to run, he did. He ran for mayor of Cleveland. He had been run out of Cleveland. The hell you're talking about? In 1939. He didn't make it till past 1939. He comes back in 1947 and tries to run for governor. For mayor. But then we find out that when Elliot Ness was still safety director, he had an accident and he was drunk. And there was nobody else involved. But he tried to get the cops to not, to do nothing about it, Mr. Untouchable. And they were like, sorry, guy, no. So that came out, and guess what? He did not win that election. Shocker. Oh, there we go. That's it. So then he took basically odd jobs at the end. He married another woman. They adopted a child. He never had any children of his own. He started co-writing The Untouchables with a man named Oscar Fraley. And he was giving like small advances for this book. Neuroscientists have conducted brain imaging on neuropathic differences. So yes, they ain't right. And let me just, I'll take this one down because this is the last photo. He took odd jobs. He lived in a rooming house where he was an alcoholic. And they would give him very small advances so he could just live. They wrote this book. And in the May of 1957, at the age of 54, he had a heart attack and died. Elliot Ness. The book hadn't come out yet. The book came out a couple months later. It's sad. You had a man that was so young, and he made such a huge arrest, even though it wasn't on, he didn't get Al Capone or murder or racketeering. He got him on tax evasion. But he set up those untouchables because Chicago was dirty. Dirty. All right. And he found those core men, and he saved the world. And then he comes here to Cleveland. And for 4 years, he is unable to get a lead on somebody. He didn't do anything. Nothing. Just happenstance that the guy from the coroner's office who went to look at the leg went to visit his friend, or his informant in the prison, and they mentioned Dr. X. Yeah. So Elliot died pretty young, 54. I mean, I'm older than that. Now, Mr. Sweeney, he would move from psychiatric hospital to psychiatric hospital, veterans home, with different states. He would move back and forth. He lived until 1965. Died a drunk. I mean, they give you apparently they give you alcohol when you're in these places. I go for it, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, he outlived Ness. If you want to get Ness, would you get off? Get off. This is my show. And that's how this ends. We have a lot of people dead. We have nobody arrested. We have a man that probably did it, okay? Dr. Sweeney is our guy, no doubt. But Ness couldn't make it stick because Sweeney, even though he was an alcoholic from hell, he was so smart. And he knew he was smarter than Ness. He knew that all he had to do was outweigh him. And it only took Ness a week to say, fuck it. Fuck. And now, this is a lot like Jack the Ripper, right? We have organs gone, but they were all women. But I will tell you that Elliot Ness got a postcard that said Mr. Sweeney was going to California. And so the Black Dahlia is on the list, has a possible victim of this. Again, she was dissected with surgical elegance, right? Just like these victims. These victims he didn't make mistakes. You think about every torso, you have this has got to come out. You're going in, you're getting organs, right? And it precision. Absolutely. And you think about it too, and this is what I had to think about. All right, if you're an alcoholic, you're going to shake, right? Or you're going to be, at some point, if you're drunk, how are you making, this is one thing that I thought, how are you making these precise, right between the vertebrae perfectly, right between, the shoulder blades? How are you getting that perfect if you are either drunk, drinking, or not drinking? I don't know. That's why sometimes I went back and forth. I'm like, what? Maybe, maybe not. But what are the odds we have another doctor out there? What are the odds that we have another doctor out there who kills somebody, who knows, by the way? He would have to have known that Sweeney was brought in for a week in a hotel. The doctor, if it wasn't Sweeney, it was a doctor that would have had to have known that happened. To put a body outside the nurse's fucking office window. So the odds are that it's not him are very low. Does everything make sense? It never does. It never. Y'all know we do these. Something doesn't make sense in every single one of these things. Not everything goes according to plan. So that is the end of our. Did I get it good? Hold on. I did pretty good. Hour and 44 minutes. I usually either I'm usually way lost by now, and my papers are flying everywhere, and I don't know. Dr. Long John. Dr. Long John. Sweeney. Oh, yes. Sweeney's cousin was not a senator, but I think a congressman. I have that written down somewhere. I can't believe I forgot that. When his cousin, Dr. Sweeney's cousin, found out that he was a possible suspect, that man went bullshit crazy. And people backed in Ness and all them backed off for a little while because that fucking cousin was getting ready. They're gonna rain Tara down from the hills because his cousin was being accused of this. Did it get, was that what got him in the end? Is that what saved the guy in the end? No, I don't think so. I think it was Ness throwing a hissy fit and burning down that shanty town. And I mean, if you're not as smart as somebody, I get it. Okay, this guy Sweeney was a genius. I'm gonna put that as genius. The things that he accomplished, and he knew all he'd do was sit back and wait, and he waited. He was so smart, he was crazy. Do you know what that means? Like, he was so smart, he was crazy, and he knew all I gotta do is wait this little asshole out. He's gonna give up. Oh, you want to hook me to a machine? No problem. Yeah. And he outsmarted Ness. And Ness threw a hissy fit and got run out of town. Basically. Ruined Ness's life. This was it. This did it. This started. He was already drinking. He was already getting a divorce. Talking about Ness. But this put him over and out. So I count Elliot Ness as one of Mr. Sweeney's victims because it took him a while. But he ended up killing Elliot Ness. And he never had to put his hands on him. He never had to put his hands on him. We got it. We did it. You should. I really do. You see you're passionate. Thank you, Ted. I really enjoy these. I really do. I love doing the research. I love getting the pictures ready. I love trying to figure things out. I do. I like it. It is my outlet. Y'all know I did not have a good week. My mom had some surgery. And, I'm the caregiver, so there was a lot. And honestly, throwing on Hulu and Only Murders in the Building. We have to put them in our folders so we can throw them away. Let me write on it. I at night when everybody went to bed, this is usually when I do my work. Unless I have to get up before 4:15 in the morning. I will, after dinner, I will put on Hulu, and I usually watch season 3 of Only Murders in the Building, or sometimes I'm, BritBox, whatever. And I get on this computer and I just start running. I start it. And it's an outlet for me. It calms me down. It relaxes me, even though it shouldn't. It should probably upset me. But it's what I do. It's my thing. It helps me out. Thank you, Ted. And we will take them. Let me write Cleveland. Hold on. Don't go anywhere yet, y'all. Let me write it on there because I've got a file in case y'all do not know. Y'all know I've been doing these for 2-3 years now. And I have got files. And I'm going to show y'all my files sometimes. I file them away and I have a file cabinet. My husband got me, I bought myself a file cabinet at the Goodwill. And I've got a pretty impressive, I say so myself, I have a pretty impressive portfolio there. I mean, just look, we have done, if I go back through, sometimes I'll find a case, I'll think, I should do that. And then I remember I already have. We've done the Ripper. We've done Texas Killing Fields. We've done the Boston Strangler. We've done the something killer. We've done the Black Dahlia. We've done I mean, mysteries too. We've done disappearances. I've got it's just a lot. We've done a lot. We've done a lot. A lot. I invite you to go through this playlist. Some of them are going to absolutely be train wrecks, and some of them are okay. Some of them turned out okay. I don't know how. But, yeah. So, that's our Saturday Night Murder Mystery. We don't know who did it, but we know who did it. We don't know how many victims, but we kind of know how many victims. And so I think next week we are going to. Now I have my husband's niece's wedding. That's during the day. If I am still at that wedding at 9:00 at night, I'm going to be drunk, and I will. It's not good. So next Saturday, because I told you I was going to start incorporating newer cases. Just because I got to get some traffic in here. I love y'all for coming. You always come. You never let me down. And then we have our people that watch, afterwards. But I got to get some traffic in here. All right. So I'm going to have to start covering these newer ones. Next week, me and Janie are going to discuss the possible serial killer there in Texas because something's going on. I'm sorry if police don't want to say, but something's going on there. And then the week after that is the Saturday before Halloween. So we'll do our paranormal pajama party then. And then I don't have anything planned after that. I've got some ideas and I've got some people that have sent me some stuff. So I'll look at those and we'll see. I always let y'all know. I always let y'all know. So that y'all can, get ahead of me and y'all can look them up. Mountain Mama has saved him more than once, more than twice, more than 20 times. Thank you, Ted. I do appreciate that. Well, I've done the Green River Killer is kind of, it's solved, but I have thought about doing ones that are solved. I've thought about it. Oh, y'all welcome. Oh, Ted, I'm so glad. I appreciate that. But I think I'm going to do some that have been solved, that were mysteries and that have recently been solved. I don't know. I've got to figure it out because, like I said, I want to grow the channel. It's been growing. It's growing because I'm making fun of Ernie, but I'll keep doing that. I don't really care if it gets people in here to do what I want to do. But, I just want to get some traction and get some more people in here. So I'm going to start doing some more current cases and whatnot. It's what I don't think that I'm not giving up on obviously the old ones, but I just got to get some traction in here. We gotta start moving some people in here. That's it. So, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Mama T stayed the whole time. I am shocked. What are you doing, Susan Georgia Peach? Susan go Peach. Susan, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, okay? We'll catch up. We'll dish tomorrow. We'll dish tomorrow, Susan. I will call you. Unless you're by the pool. Susan put a picture of herself up by the pool. I'm up here in Lynchburg, Virginia, freezing my fucking ass off. And Susan is by the pool in Florida. I'm not mad, but it's not gonna. Yeah, we can push it out. I'm not gonna stop anybody. Jasper. He's my little tiny dancer. Y'all should see Jasper dance. I love it. So and Gotham, thank you for coming. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you stayed the whole time. I appreciate that. I know it gets a lot. And a lot of times, look, guys, I have ADD. I think I did pretty well tonight. I've got a new system of presenting these, which it's just one after the other. I think I did better. I'll go back and watch some of it and see if I did. I probably did. Probably didn't, but I wouldn't do that. I've discovered new information on them. Really? Genevieve, would you like to come up one day and talk about it? It is very interesting. The thing with that, I'll tell you the problem. When it's the difficulty in a case like that is when you have so many victims. Thank you, It's All Gravy. I appreciate you so much. When you have that many victims, and it's a lot, and you saw me tonight, we have, Jane Doe, victim 7, Jane Doe 4, it's so when you, one of my faults is I want to give you their name. I want to give you a little bit about their life, because I have learned if you don't make people like the victims, they're not really gonna give a shit if they got killed. It's funny. I know it's weird, but so when you get that many locations, even though his were compact, just like the Kingsbury run, it's a lot of information. When I did the Texas killing fields, that's 2 different places on a interstate at 2 different periods. And so it gets a lot. It's a lot. And it's hard to do when you're researching it, because it's just like with this one was not as hard. I don't know these people. They didn't have a backstory. That's horrible to say, but the unidentified had no name, no backstory. I didn't know it. The more you know about people, and then when they're murdered, and you do this like a week or 2, it fucks with your head. I mean, after a while. Yeah, I have to humanize them, because if I don't, nobody cares. And so you have to do that. And like I said, it gets hard. I did 2 disappearances, 3 people that disappeared at the Springfield 3, which was in, I don't know, I'll do that again. And then we had the Fort Worth trio, December 23rd, 1974, 3 girls disappear. I do it every December 23rd, and I will do it till they're found. And I did those 2 cases back to back. And it was hard. It was hard. After that, you make friends with these people. Like, I knew everything about, well, not everything. I knew most of the things about them. I knew their personalities. I knew their brothers and sisters. I knew their mothers. I knew what their parents did. And it sounds so weird, but you know them now. I know them. Like, these girls, why do I have 3 butterflies? 3 girls went missing from Fort Worth, Texas in 1974 on December 23rd. This is Rachel, Mary, and Julie. And that's what they are. And they're going to stay here until we find a body or whatever. I'll leave them up. And every December 23rd, we're going to talk about the Fort Worth trio. Boom, bam, it's going to happen. Because I know them. And I actually do know Rachel's brother, Rusty. I mean, he and I talk on Facebook all the time. He's been looking for his sister that long. He was a young boy. But I talked to Julie's brother, Mark. So I know these people. I know these people. And so I talk about them. And then it's weird. I don't know, guys. This isn't a therapy session. Avion, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Mint Mommy, I appreciate the hell out of you. I appreciate you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the one little headshot that we had, but I did warn you. And on replay, I want you to watch. Don't look if you don't want to see it. But I will see you next week. I might see you this week. I might make fun of Bernie this week. I might do it 12 times this week. I just don't know. But I won't see you till probably Monday. And I thank y'all for coming. I really appreciate it. And I will see you very soon. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Hold on. Let me put the damn button. There we go.